It began on an ordinary evening. One of those nights that faded into the routine of daily life. The sofa was our usual place after work. The corner where we spent most of our time together. The dim glow of the lamp flickered, and the television buzzed softly in the background, filling the silence with meaningless noise that made our presence together feel normal. It should have been comforting, but there was a quiet distance, an invisible wall between us. We were near each other, yet our hearts had drifted apart. For a while, I had sensed something wasn't right. Still, I chose not to face it. Our habits had become so fixed, so familiar. She would come home tired, and I would already be absorbed in my own world. We'd trade short remarks about work, about the weekend, or even joke about needing a break from everything. Easy, surface-level conversations that didn't require depth. Yet under it all, I could feel the weight of something left unsaid. A small crack in the ground beneath us, one I couldn't define. That evening, though, she was different. Her gaze shifted restlessly, as if she was carrying a secret. She was quieter than usual, not even trying to fill the silence like she normally did. She leaned against the couch, lost in her head, and the room filled with a tense energy. Then suddenly she said it. "What do you think about having an open relationship?" She asked in a tone that tried to sound casual, but I could tell she had thought about it for a long time. My mind went blank. Open relationship. Those words struck harder than I expected. They cut like a sharp blade. Her voice stayed calm, almost emotionless, while my chest pounded with panic as countless thoughts swirled, trying to understand what she truly meant. I couldn't answer right away. This wasn't something you replied to without grasping the weight of it. It felt like she had just unlocked a door that could destroy everything we had built. I needed to step back, to think, to understand. I sat silently, trying to form words. She noticed my pause and rushed to explain, as if she knew how shaken I was. "It's not what you think," she said. "It's not because I don't love you. I just feel like I need to discover more. I want experiences. I still want you, but I also want other things. For me, just for me." Her confession landed like a heavy blow. She said she loved me yet wanted others. She wanted more from life, from our bond, but only for herself. She was asking for freedom to wander, to be with different people while still holding me close. She wasn't offering the same in return. No, this was about her alone. And I was meant to remain, the man she'd keep while she sought new adventures. Listening to her, I felt betrayal press down on me. How could she expect me to accept this? Did she really believe our trust, our history, could survive such a demand? I searched her face for doubt or guilt. But all I found was someone who had already made her choice. Someone who had already stepped onto this path, waiting for me to follow. Anger rose inside me. A slow burn twisted in my chest. Yet I didn't explode. I didn't shout. I sat frozen, her words spilling out so lightly, as if they carried no weight. "Why?" I finally whispered, barely audible. She gave a small shrug, her eyes soft, as though she truly believed this would make sense. "Because I feel incomplete. I need to figure out who I am outside of this. You're wonderful, you really are. But I have to know what else exists. It's not about you at all. It's about me, about my journey." Her explanation was meant to soften the blow, to assure me that I wasn't to blame. But it only deepened the pain. This wasn't about self-discovery. It was about craving more, about dipping her toes in someone else's world while keeping me as her safe place. I wasn't going to be a background role in her story. I needed space, time to think, to breathe, to process. Yet I knew there was no undoing it. The words were already spoken. The request was laid out. And I had to choose. Would I go along with this? Stay in something that no longer felt like ours? Or would I walk away, letting everything collapse? For a while I stayed quiet. I didn't react, didn't decide. I simply listened, letting her talk as though nothing had changed. All the while, I watched her slip further away. I saw her come home late, her eyes light up when she spoke about someone else, the way she seemed lighter, freer, and it broke me. I wasn't enough anymore. She had already stepped out, in ways I wasn't ready for. But silence. As it turns out, silence gives you space to think. Watching her drift further away, something inside me changed. I realized I had a choice as well. I didn't have to quietly accept this. I didn't need to wait for her to decide whether I was enough. I could shape my own path. And for the first time in years, I knew I had to make a decision, not based on her wishes, but on what I was willing to allow. I didn't have to let her control it all. If she had the right to explore, why couldn't I? Why should she be the only one who satisfied her curiosity? So I began creating my own plans. I wasn't about to sit back and take it. She thought she could play this game, then I would play it smarter. But I wouldn't announce it. I wouldn't give her the pleasure of knowing I was reclaiming my choices, my life. I started going out not only with friends but also with women, casual dates, nothing serious, just enough to feel alive again, to feel wanted. It wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about wounding her. It was about taking back something I had lost, my own sense of power. And she had no idea. She didn't suspect a thing. She was too wrapped up in her own pursuits, too absorbed in her world to notice the gap widening between us. I had become invisible in her story, a shadow of the man she used to know. My absence wasn't just physical. I had pulled away emotionally, quietly, in ways she didn't see at first. But then one night, after a long draining week, she came home earlier than usual. Her smile was forced, her excitement faded. She asked if I had been seeing someone else, her voice trembling as the words left her lips. I didn't lie. I didn't play along. I told her the truth. Yes, I had been meeting others. Yes, I had been dating. The color drained from her face. The smile vanished, leaving only a silent, wounded stare. "What do you mean?" she whispered, as if the thought itself was impossible. "I mean exactly what I said. You wanted an open relationship. You have it. I'm not the only one living by these rules. You're not the only one enjoying freedom." Her eyes widened, and she stumbled back, as if the floor had given way beneath her. She wasn't furious, no, it was worse. She was hurt, shaken. And I saw it in her gaze, as though I had betrayed her. "You were supposed to be okay with this," she cried. "I thought you understood." I breathed deeply. I did. Thought I did too. But not anymore. The silence that followed thundered in the room. We said nothing. We didn't need to. The truth was laid bare, sharp and undeniable. I had been following her rules, playing her game. But now the game was done and I had won. That night she walked out of the room. She didn't yell, didn't fight. She simply left. And I didn't follow. I didn't try to stop her. For the first time in years I felt free. I had gone along with her terms, obeyed her lead. And in the end, I reclaimed what mattered. Not for vengeance, but for survival. The bond we once had was broken. She had taken what she needed from it. But I had taken something too. My freedom. And in the end, that was what counted. The truth was undeniable. The open relationship she had suggested, her chance to explore, had become my escape, my way of liberation. We both stepped into an arrangement that altered us forever, though not as she imagined. While she searched outside for something to fill her emptiness, I found something deeper within myself. The strength to take back my power, to refuse to remain passive in a love that no longer valued me. It wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about evening the score. It was about realizing my worth and refusing to be someone's fallback. She had chosen her path, and in doing so, forced me to claim mine. I didn't need her approval, her acceptance, or her consent to live fully. The silence after she left was overwhelming. But in that stillness, I discovered that sometimes the hardest choices bring the clearest truths. It wasn't about what we had lost anymore, but about what we both might gain by walking away. And though it hurt, I knew it was the only way forward. In the end, she walked away from the bond we had built, just as I walked away from the version of myself that allowed her to set the rules. I had played her game, and it was finished. But in the ruins of that game, I uncovered the most important thing, my peace.